Hello, everybody. I welcome to the On the Move podcast. And today, my special guest is Simon Mayenschein. Simon is zooming in from Innsbruck in Tyrol in Austria. Hi, Simon.
Hi, Maren. Thanks for inviting.
How are you doing?
I'm very good, actually. I had a good day. The sun is shining. We had some new snow here, which is rare this season. So I'm happy.
It's true. Since I'm only sitting a couple mountains away from you, except I'm sitting on the mountain, I'm wearing my big sweater because, yes, it was quite cold last night. And we're happy to have a little bit of new white around us. Simon, I would love to start with a little introduction of yourself. Would you like to tell us who you are and what your story is about skis and maybe even hemp skis?
Okay, I can do this. Thanks. I think as a lot of people, I started skiing very early with 2 or 3 years. My dad brought me to it. Then I was ski racing this classy way. And I think 10 years ago, I went to Innsbruck. It was with 20 with a friend, and it hooked me here. And then I just started skiing more and did a carpenting practice ship, I think is the English word, over 2 years. And after these 2 years, I wanted to do something more fitting, I would say. And then I found that SpurArt is here in Innsbruck, a little ski manufacturer. And I just went there and asked if they have a job. And the next day I had a job. And I was also starting to study architecture to the same time. And then I worked and studied for the last, 8 years. And now I'm working full-time at SpurArt, and the hemp project is something that arrived, I think, 5 years ago, where Valentine Treu, which is now leading the Grown Lab, like an institution lab in the University of Innsbruck, came to our shop and said, "Hey guys, I have something for you. It's hemp. Do you want to try it in a ski?" And I remember, because I was really interested, and just to try it, I couldn't imagine what that means really. And then we tried some things and it worked out pretty well. I mean, of course, 5 years ago the skis were they worked, but in the end you can ski a lot of things. It's depending a bit on your skill and the snow conditions. And but now during the years, we found some nice new things, and it's kind of working. It's not that it's the best ski you've ever skied, which is by itself a very difficult thing, but it is a really good ski, I would say. Yeah.
Nice. Well, hang on for a second before we get all deep into the hemp ski. I do want to introduce our audience quickly to SpurArt. SpurArt is a little, I would say, artisanal workshop that actually makes skis. But you're not only building custom-made skis, and I would also say design skis for your customers, but you also have a do-it-yourself part in the workshop where you actually have customers coming in who can build their own ski, right?
Yeah. This is actually the main part of SpurArt is the do-it-yourself workshops.
Okay.
And we're doing this since 11 years now.
Wow.
And this is like the horse that is kind of pulling SpurArt, because there are a lot of companies who do this customized ski thing. Sometimes they survive longer, sometimes shorter. But with this do-it-yourself workshops, we are now in the business since 11 years and kind of, I don't know if this is completely true, but it feels like a really rare company who's doing this, in kind of a leading company also here in Austria or Middle Europe, because we're doing it that long already.
Admit, I don't know too many workshops that actually offer this, and you guys were certainly unique when I came across you. and it's a very special atmosphere in the workshop. And of course, you're sitting in the heart of the mountains in Innsbruck, so
Yeah.
it's quite the place to be building skis. How can our audience envision your 9 to 5 day job? Like, how does that look? Do you also build skis in the summer, or is there only demand in the winter? Is that a seasonal job? How does it work?
Of course, we have, I would say, more production during the winter. It starts like around September, and it really starts when the first snow is around. So the whole summer, the telephone doesn't ring really, but when the first snow arrives, everyone is like, "I need a ski right now." So yeah, around October it starts and it goes till March.
Wow.
April, and during the last years we also were able to offer workshops during the summer, but of course it's not the same regularity. It's one time in a month, and in the winter it's almost 4 times in a month we do the
Wow.
workshop.
Wow. How much has our, let's say, climate change affected winters been affecting the business of the ski building? Is demand going down, or are people becoming more aware of all of these changes and hence actually are more willing to invest in something more sustainable? We'll talk about sustainability in a second.
I think that's a very hard question to answer, because I have the feeling that there are more people skiing
Okay.
than 10 years ago, more people ski touring, more people freeriding.
Okay.
So I think there is this like the climate change is not really a reason to not do it, I would say,
Mhm.
for a lot of people, including me, because we love to do it in the end. And we are also a pretty small company, which has a really like special offer of product.
Yeah.
So of course we notice that less people at the moment are buying skis, or that there's less money in the winter branch, uh, but you don't know why really, because like when there was Corona, for example, the touring like went super high, and there was a lot of stuff sold, and we just built touring skis kind of.
Okay.
And now this kind of branch is collapsing a bit because they were overproducting. So you cannot really say, is it less people? It's really hard to tell. I would say it doesn't really change a lot. It just changes the awareness of the people. And I noticed that more people are using the public transportations to go to the ski resorts. There are
Okay.
also these touring books that are kind of pushing the public transportation tours, that you don't go with the car, you go together with the car. So this changes, I think, but I'm not sure if it has this big impact. I mean, when there is less snow, the people are not skiing that much because not so many days with snow. I think this is more the reason. When it snows less skiing, but I'm not sure if it's really the climate change that changes the
I see.
attitude. Yeah.
I see. And Simon, I already touched on the topic of sustainability. How much is sustainability really a topic for you in the ski workshop? And how much is it also maybe a topic for your customers? Are they coming to you because they might think that they can, use more sustainable materials than when they just buy a generic ski somewhere in, a shop where they don't know where it's coming from, what's in it? I mean, what's in it is always a bit of a question because this is a very technical device. Maybe you can give us a comparison. What's in a regular ski, and in comparison to the hemp ski, what is the specialty on that?
Okay, it was a lot of questions now. Could happen that I talk very long, so you just tell me. I would say, first of all, do the customers ask for sustainability? I think a lot of our customers, they already think that we are more sustainable than the ski industry, because we're just producing on demand. So there's no ski. Every ski is an individual product. So this reduces the waste a lot. And also a lot of people think that we are having wood skis or wooden skis because our top sheet is made out of veneer mostly, and this makes the people think that there's just wood in a ski, what obviously couldn't work in such a high-end product. So you always need other technical materials. So this to that. And are we thinking a lot about sustainability? I would answer this with yes and no, because as every company, it's always difficult to be 100% sustainable and survive, to have both, because the system is not there yet to be 100% sustainable and have your normal profit. So it's always a balance. And we found ways to be more sustainable, for example, with science projects we are part of, to get some support, financial support, that we can kind of make something out of the ideas we have. And sometimes we also we try on customers. So we also ask if customers want to be part of a progress, and then if they say yes and pay for it, then of course we try. So we're looking for things, but on the other hand, we are a company in a system that is how it is. I think I don't have to tell about this.
Let me
Yes.
let me just ask one more time on what you just said. What do you mean when customers, they can basically start testing a new product for you, or a new product that you're doing that is more sustainable or is including different materials? What exactly are you talking about there, or how does that work?
Sometimes it can happen that a customer, for example, comes to our place and saw that we are researching in hemp, and then the person is asking, can I try this? And a lot of times we had to say no because it's not there yet. But now we can already say, yes, we can kind of build a ski that has hemp in it and works. So this happens. Or someone one time asked if he can have the hemp as a design. So it's just on the outside in the end. There's nothing technical really in the ski, but you can see it as a design, for example. Or it's also when people come to our shop and want a special shape, then it's kind of the same, because we cannot do 10 different prototypes and then selling one, because we're way too small for this. We kind of have to try with a paying customer. And this is something that SpurArt always did. Kind of, this is maybe also the reason why we're still here, because we ask for help and then often it comes.
Cool. Simon? Simon, I have another question for you. I've always been wondering, in my research, I obviously came across a lot of the big companies that are trying to change their productions a little bit for more sustainable materials by oftentimes starting out on showing the LCAs for certain products, especially on skis. And what is the difference, and what are the advantages of being a small company like SpurArt? Can you move in a very different way than the big companies can on trying to come up with more sustainable products?
The big difference on one point is big companies are producing in a routine. So kind of every 10 minutes, there is a ski done at Atomic, for example. And if they want to change anything, they have to calculate a lot. Is it worth it to put, 100 grams more of hemp instead of 50 grams fiberglass? Is this helping our product also in an economical way, or is it bad for Atomic? it's just an example. Could be Salomon, could whatever. The difference to us is we don't build on process, we build on demand. So if we want to change something, we just change it and build a ski from today and don't need to calculate so much because we just try it out and then we see. So we are much faster in trying and things. But on the other hand, if we achieve something that probably could be good for the environment, our impact is like zero. So then we have the opportunity to go to the big brands and try if it's working in industrial scale also. And they have then to decide to use it or not. But our impact is pretty low. We can just do like the work of how do you say, of invention and prototyping and
the innovations,
science, but not. We don't really change something.
But in a way, that also means that you're really the hopeful front runners or forerunners to really come up with a potential solution and then put it into practice, see if it works. And if it works, what are the likelihoods that big companies will actually adapt that? Has that happened? I think we have probably one example with a hemp skiing or hiking pole from Valentina Troy, correctly?
Yeah, it's a hemp pole that is used by Leki. Leki is kind of producing it, they're producing it, and they did I think a research together with Valentina, and there it already found place. And I think it needs these big companies like Leki that are trying to change the market, and in this sustainable way, and also try to or accept the victims, because they don't know if the customer likes the pole. They don't know, or they know that it's probably not as good as a carbon pole at the moment. It can be. So you have to be very brave to put a product out that is maybe not as good as it's equivalent in fiberglass or carbon. And you kind of need then the customers who try it also. So I think it's from big companies, it's pretty brave if they do this, because it's about a lot of money instantly. And for us, we try one ski and one customers, and it's like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And for not our whole brand is like going down because this one ski doesn't work. And for a bigger company, it can happen. So I totally understand why they are much slower also with pushing this out. And I think these big companies like Salomon, for example, they do small steps. And I'm pretty sure that there are people in these companies who want to have the steps much bigger, and already 10 years ago. But as I said before, it's just thin line. So, yeah.
So let's talk about the hemp ski in specific. What are the positive, the negative attributes? I mean, you have been doing 2 years of a research project on it already, and I think you guys have 1 more year to go until this will be decided if it's a product that can go out on the market or may stay one that will rather stay on a shelf, I suppose. Let me do remark that I did try your hemp ski already once, and it was really, really, it was a pleasure riding it. It was great. I could have not said anything that didn't work on it, but let's hear from a professional. What's the experience with a hemp ski?
Okay, I think first of all we have to talk about what does hemp ski mean in this case, because I think a lot of people would now imagine the ski is completely out of hemp. When you think of a ski, you normally just explain a bit how a ski works. When you think of a ski, you have like this core, which is in the middle, and it's like something that is vibrating when you do a turn. I hope the people understand when I use my hand for it. It's kind of vibrating, and on top and on the base you put fibers that are pulling the core back in its position. So if it goes up, it pulls it down, and you're kind of mirroring this to stabilize the core. If you use hemp now, the core still stays a wooden core, and the base still stays polyethylene, and the design stays whatever the design is. So you just change the fiber. And what we already found out, we're doing also like base science. So there's probably not a whole ski presented next year. It's more, okay, we have some base science, and we're also connected pretty close to the farmer who's producing the hemp, because this whole hemp, which could be nice to talk about also after, is not just it's this product and use it and see what you can do with it. It's a much bigger challenge. But back to the ski, when you think of a hemp ski, we at the moment try to find out how much hemp can we use in a ski to reduce the fiberglass or the carbon, or to reduce the resin part, that is also a big part, so the glue, or can we make the ski better with adding it? So it has a lot of variables. So hemp ski doesn't mean out of hemp. It's part of it is hemp.
You're still using fiberglass in these hemp skis?
At the moment, yes, because you also have to think, if you think in a materialistic way, fiberglass is on the market for some years, and it's kind of engineered, out-engineered, over-engineered. You buy a fiberglass and you know exactly what you get. So it's, and also the fiber you get is a really high quality, also if you buy it cheap. If you think of hemp now, it's a product that is very young, and it's also not easy to create like a fiber out of hemp. It's a really, it's a process, you know that, from your long years now in the hemp industry. So this whole product is not at the same level where a fiberglass is or where a carbon is. So this by itself makes a huge difference in what is the outcome of in the ski. And then the material itself is also working different. For example, carbon is very stiff. It's very hard. That's why you can use less carbon, for example, compared to fiberglass to get the same stiffness. That's why it's lighter. When you take the hemp now, it's like you don't know yet, is it stiffer, is it not that stiff, or is it, if you use it a bit different because it's more damping than, for example, making it stiff, can you bend it so much? There are a lot of things you have to find out. That's why it's more basic science compared to product science. So a ski, and also to understand this, and just interrupt if I talk too much, it's a product that is very complicated. In the first moment, you think, it's two things where you stand on and you slide down a slope. Yes, it is like this. But as you know from your experience, like a ski can change your experience of skiing so much. There is good skis, there is bad skis. And also it's a ski, when you look on it, what it should be capable of, it works in plus 30 or 40 degrees when the sun is shining on it and you have it in the hut and it's not collapsing. It works in minus 30 degrees or minus 40 degrees. I don't know where they use in Russia, for example, when it's like minus 40, it's not collapsing. Then it has to bend in different directions and not just in one direction. And so it's a very complicated product. And if the hemp in the end works in this product in any kind of way, maybe it comes out that it doesn't work in this product completely without support of fiber and carbon, then it works in other industries where, for example, there doesn't have to be a lot of movement in the product. Let's take, I don't know, the wings of a wind plant.
Aircraft, for example. Well, aircraft actually is also very, aerospace is quite...
Or aircraft, where it's about vibrating but not about bending, more about stiffness. So, or in cars, whatever. I think there are a lot of industries where it already could be used, where a bit more brevity.
And let's maybe also remark why it is already used, because the car industry is using it already since over 20 years. So yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But this is what makes it so, I think, interesting. Also, the science project, that you use a product that is very new, very young, in a very complicated product. Yeah.
So what is the current status of the research? What is sort of the peak percentage of hemp that you were able to introduce to the ski?
We have already built skis where all the fiberglass was
Replaced with hemp?
Replaced by the hemp. They work. You can ski them. As I said, there are situations where a ski doesn't have to be able to do a lot, like for example free riding, where the snow is soft. You can ski a lot of things, and there it already works. It's just it works different. It's slower in reaction. It's damping really a lot. It kind of has its own vibration that is really new or different. So so you can replace 100%, but it's not the best quality of ski that you can have. So we at the moment try to replace, I would say, around 1/4 of the ski, of the fiber. So if you, for example, you have 1,000 grams fiber in one ski, then 250 grams are hemp, and this works already pretty good, I would say. So we kind of use it for the damping and not for the bending of the ski.
All right. And what is the experience of the length of the life cycle of these skis so far? Are they do they break earlier than a let's say currently regular ski, or is it about the same?
I mean, this you have to see. Okay, the project is just 2 years old, so we cannot tell will the ski survive 10 years. Our goal is that a ski survives minimum 10 years. But what you already see, and this is a common problem that you have in the hemp science, is that you have kind of a, how do you say, you have kind of a plastic movement in the ski with hemp. That's why it's not possible already to use just hemp, because you kind of bend the ski, and then the ski has a different camber or different form. So normally it looks like this if this is the bottom side, and then you ski on it and it looks like this when it's just hemp. So you have kind of a movement in the fiber, which is kind of normal for natural fibers. And this is a problem when you have bending products that need to bend, kind of. So when you take this as an argument, then the life cycle is pretty short, because one round and then the ski is done. So, but if you combine it, it's the same. And if you get this problem under control, then it's the same as another ski, because the fiber itself is packed in resin or in glue, so there's no water attacking it, and so there's no delamination, and I think
perfect. Yeah,
that
makes sense to me. And I guess in summary, we can say that it might not be about a whole new product, a whole new experience to ski on hemp, but more a real awareness to exchange slow and bits by bits the parts that are very energy intensive and are petrochemically derived with natural fibers, if I understand that right. And I think there's other hemp or other ski brands that have also tried to integrate hemp. And most of the LCAs that I found are indicating that, by exchanging and by also paying attention to where the other parts of the materials are coming from, whether you're using biologically or ecological resins, having more hemp in there than maybe fiberglass or other materials, that you can actually leave about 50% of a better footprint for the product in general. That's super interesting.
Sorry, I have something to add because it sounded a bit negative now, and maybe I was a bit critical about this whole product, Hamski. I think I wouldn't do this project if I don't have the feeling that it has a lot of potential, because of, as we are ski builders or snowboard builders or whatever, for us it's really important that the sport we do makes fun, and we won't ski a ski that doesn't work. And the skis I already built, like now with this hemp and fiberglass, they're super good. Like I don't skis anymore with just fiberglass because I think the damping part of the hemp is a really positive progress in a ski. For this, you can normally also use like titanal or aluminum plates or whatever. So you can use other materials, but I think hemp like maybe delivers a really sustainable solution for this titanal, for example, because it's much more silent and damping a lot. So to also say the good things, there is like it's a lot of fun already skiing this mixed hybrid skis. So.
Well, that's really cool to hear. Now, Simon, if we have listeners who are now ready to test a hemp ski, is there a way to actually test, or is there only a way to come and build a hemp ski with you guys and then basically take it out? Or how can an audience who's listening now and says this is something that I'd be really interested, where can they find you? How can they get in touch with you? Is there a way to test or buy? Maybe you want to put in a little commercial for the SpurArt team. This would be the moment.
Thank you for this. Of course, people can come over and test some of our prototypes. We're very open in this because it's also interesting for us to hear experiences from people that are riding different or somewhere else, or normal maybe. Of course, you can also build some. We're pretty open to this. It's always prototyping, which is also very important to say. So it's maybe not working, but I think when you are in this prototyping or progress, then sometimes it doesn't work. Buying, not yet really. Because we're producing for the science project and not for selling it. And it doesn't work like this in our shop anyway. So you order and we build. So we don't have something really to sell, but we can talk about everything. And if someone wants to come over to Innsbruck, super happy to talk about it. Also, if you want to share experiences, we're super open for this. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much, Simon, for taking the time and giving us a little introduction to your daily life as well as this really interesting research project. And I can't wait to put my heels or my free heels onto a hemp ski and start testing further. So thank you very much. And we'll see each other hopefully again on the slope somewhere.
Yeah, you have to pick up your hemp ski.
There we go. No, that was a good one. I'll certainly do that.
Thank you, Maren, for this opportunity to talk about it. And I hope also other small companies feel inspired to do some science and do something good for our environment. Because in the end, it's just fun if it works.
There you go. Cool. Thank you so much, Simon. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hello and welcome to Climate Impact Storytelling by Maren Krings. That's me. I welcome you today to the 9th episode. My stories are made on the move, and with that I want to share my passion for planet Earth and healthy nature and humanity. This one is going to focus on winter, the importance of snow and ice, and the impact of our sports equipment on nature. There's skis, there's snowboards. There is a lot of stuff that we need in order to enjoy the great outdoors, which I'm in right now. I will pride myself next year to be standing on hemp skis. And that's what this episode is about. We will consider and look a little bit deeper into the footprint that our equipment leaves behind, as well as the impact that we globally take with that. Just 5 days ago, on March 22nd, was World Water Day, a day the United Nations uses yearly to publish its World Water Report. This year, 2025, has been declared as the International Year of Glacier Protection, to raise awareness about the importance of these vital ice masses. In the report, we can read that mountains are the water towers of the world, covering nearly a quarter of our planet's land surface. It is here where countless rivers originate, supplying billions of people with fresh water. Glaciated mountains can store vast amounts of water due to the combination of high precipitation and low evaporation, releasing it slowly over time. However, they are particularly sensitive to global warming. The disappearance of alpine glaciers will cause rivers to carry significantly less water in the future. Climate change is the cause for shrinking glaciers and snow cover, thaws permafrost, and makes water flows more erratic, triggering more frequent droughts, floods, and landslides. The glacier's disappearance will threaten the long-term water supply for millions of people worldwide. Currently, 1/4 of the world's population already faces extreme water scarcity, and still consumption continues to grow by 0.7% annually. Agriculture leads the consumption and is followed by households and industry. Despite being a relatively small industry, the winter sports sector also leaves a footprint, consuming water, energy, and fossil-based materials such as carbon fiber, synthetics, and composites. The energy-intensive production process, combined with a high wear and tear, often results in gear with a short lifespan and limited options for recycling or reuse. 7 years ago, in 2018, Professor Tobias Lute pioneered the regenerative ETH-grown hemp ski, crafted with a hemp fiber paulownia wood composite and laminated using partly bio-based and recycled epoxy resins. This innovation challenged the industry's reliance on non-renewable materials, like glass fiber. His life cycle assessment showed the hemp ski had a 47% lower environmental footprint. By rethinking and redesigning, Lute sparked the beginning of a circular hemp-fueled bioeconomy, a contribution recognized with the ISPO Eco Achievement Award in 2018. This also inspired architect and materials specialist Valentine Treu to consider hemp in her search for a more sustainable matrix.
Der Mensch ist ein Scheinkerl, was er uns entwickelt hat.
In a think tank run by the Italian outdoor brand Saleva, Treu came up with a hemp ski pole. This idea soon evolved into yet another hemp ski together with the artisanal ski workshop SpurArt in Innsbruck. The hemp ski pole caught the attention of Leki, the German brand known for high-quality poles, leading to its scaled and commercialized release of the Hemp One Vario trekking pole. Treu's hemp ski idea evolved into a collaborative research project, bringing together private sector companies, the University of Innsbruck, and ski and winter sports manufacturer Atomic Austria. Once again, it was the unwavering enthusiasm of dedicated individuals that ignited a systemic change. The outdoor and sports industries have often prided themselves on being early adopters of sustainable innovation, rethinking production methods, raising awareness about the environmental impact of non-regenerative materials, and increasing transparency in their efforts to drive change. In the realm of winter sports equipment, brands like Salomon, Rossignol, and Atomic have taken leading roles. In December 2015, Rossignol committed to publishing an annual communication on progress. Then, in January 2020, they launched the Respect program, pledging to reduce their carbon footprint by 30% by 2030 and cut waste by 40% by 2025. French brand Salomon unveiled the results of its winter sports product life cycle assessment, conducted across its ski and snowboard range. The study, initiated in 2019, aimed to understand the environmental impact of Salomon's products through a science-based approach. By publishing the results as open-source data, Salomon provided a valuable reference for the snow sports industry to advance sustainable product development. In 2024, Austrian ski manufacturer Atomic released its impact statement, committing to a 50% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 and achieving net zero by 2050. This strategy is built on 3 pillars: transforming the value chain, innovating for sustainable performance, and fostering collaboration. The partnership with SpurArt to explore sustainable ski design aligns with Atomic's impact reduction plan. Climate action is not just an obligation, but a critical necessity for the winter sports industry to ensure that skiing remains a cherished sport for future generations, says Wolfgang Meyerhofer, president of Atomic. Warmer winter temperatures are already causing a shift from snow to rain. Even traditionally snowy regions are beginning to experience the effects, posing a significant threat to winter tourism industries like skiing and snowboarding. Protect Our Winters, an organization focused on addressing climate change in mountain communities, refers to this phenomenon of earlier springs and altered snowfall patterns as season creep. These growing concerns highlight the urgent need to combat climate change and protect the delicate balance of winter ecosystems. This is what inspired the consortium behind the hemp ski to explore alternatives for replacing environmentally harmful materials in skis with biogenic ones that offer a better environmental balance. The team of SpurArt, in collaboration with Germany's Fuse Composite, has successfully replaced the traditional glass fiber matrix with a hemp-based one. Combined with a hemp ski core, this innovation is expected to reduce the ski's greenhouse gas emissions by approximately 50%. This shift marks a significant step towards a circular bioeconomy. By applying the lessons from the hemp ski project, the ski industry can reset its practices and scale more sustainable production methods. For Austria's ski industry, employing around 2,100 people and exporting 80% of its products, this advancement helps maintain its international leadership in ski manufacturing. Lovis Kneisel and Kai Kölzig from Fuse believe that the hemp ski's innovative sandwich construction has immense potential. It could offer an eco-friendly alternative not only for skiing, but also across other composite industries, including water sports with wake and surfboards, boat building, and even automotive applications.
Hemp skis from SpurArt. The mega test. Ready? Here they are. Woohoo!
When I tried yesterday, they dance alone. As I told you.
So
Fantastic.
we do say thank you to Hemp Club because Hemp Club
Yeah.
brought us together with
Yeah.
Simon from SpurArt in Innsbruck.
I was happy to try skis because I have loved skiing since I was a child. Fantastic.
Thank you again for joining us at Her Many Voices Gaia Gossip. Remember, whatever you do for another, you do for yourself. For more information, head over to hermanyvoices.org to learn more about other programs and get involved. From all of us at Gaia Gossip and Her Many Voices Foundation, Thank you, and until next time.